So as you guys may probably already know, I have pretty curly hair. I have not the thickest hair, but I just have a lot of it, and it's just got a lot of texture and it gets pretty hard to handle. So I used to have to always straighten my hair or blow dry it before I curled it, but no longer. What I basically do at the moment is I put my hair into a low ponytail from wet. So I allow basically the whole top section of my head to be as stuck to my scalp as possible as it dries, and it kind of stretches it out. Because I have 3A curly hair, it works. And I'm basically going to be showing you guys how I curl my hair with the Mark Hill Effortless Undone curling tong, and this curling tong is perfect. It actually has a little clamp which is super helpful, especially with textured hair like mine, to kind of like pull the hair, stretch it, and it just eliminates the need to straighten any bits that are naturally curly because it just kind of pulls it. So this is what my hair is looking like, trying to make it as minimally curly as possible from wet. This is literally just me stretching my hair and pulling it as much as possible so that it makes the curling process a lot easier. So the first thing that I do is section my hair around about my ear area, and even at this point the bottom section is probably one of the hardest parts for me, so I even section this again to kind of like make it a little bit easier for me, but I just want to make sure that all the rest of my hair is just out the way. It's definitely important to make sure that your section is quite high above your head so you can really get to the root as close as possible and to clamp down on it, especially if you've got naturally curly hair. Now next I'm going to be using the Mark Hill heat protection spray. I love this stuff. People always ask me how I keep my natural curls so healthy even though I put heat on my hair, and honestly heat protection spray is super important. And as you can see, I'm actually brushing it through my hair in between each section, and that's really important as well. Not just like spraying it all over and expecting your whole head to be protected. I actually spray it in between each section. So basically my curling process is I do this literally the same for every single little section that I take. I will clamp my hair in between using the little tong function, and I will stretch the very beginning portion to kind of straighten it. So it's eliminating the need to straighten my hair with another tool. So I'm straightening that first section, getting rid of any of that natural like frizzy or curly looking texture, and then I will leave the bottom 2/3 of the section on the clamp, and I will release it once I feel like it's enough to keep it curled. And that way I've just got a really nice looking section, and I will leave it to rest after spraying it with some of the Mark Hill curl hold spray. Now it is the same for every single curl over my whole head. For the look that I'm going for personally, I really like to curl away from my face, and I do this with every single section, even as I get up to the very top sections before I style it. This is just what I found really works for me, and I get that really nice classic looking curl. I think it just looks so nice. So as you can see, I'm just doing the exact same thing again. I'm taking down the next section, making sure the top portion of my hair is out the way so I can get as close to the root as possible. I'm being sure to put in my heat protectant because it's going to keep my hair safe from any high temperatures, and that way it's going to protect my natural curls. I love my natural curls, but it's nice to have a change, and I love that I can do this and not feel damage on my hair after doing so. So I'm doing the exact same thing again. I am clamping my hair, and I am going to again stretch it and then release. So that little stretching technique that I do just really does help to keep the length of my hair looking nice and long, because you kind of like stretch the very top portion of the hair, and you're still getting the bottom part to look nice and curled as well. And it's just gonna really just like pull out any of that natural frizziness that's in my hair, because obviously my hair is naturally textured, so you can just see that natural frizz all over where my hair wanted to curl but I've stretched it. So yeah, it's just a really good technique. This kind of curling tong is really good, just especially for the kind of technique that I want to use it for. It just really helps to stretch everything out, and yeah, rather than a curling one that doesn't have the clamp, it would just be a lot harder to get that nice smooth sleek look without blow drying or straightening your hair first. So the fact that I've done this without any blow drying and without any straightening is honestly, it's crazy. I never thought I would be able to do this, to be honest, just because it's it's hard. If you've got curly hair, you know what I mean. You just feel like you have to blow dry your hair first. So yeah, the results are pretty cool, especially considering I didn't do any of that beforehand. So pretty much once you've got that technique down, it's pretty simple. You just got to do the same thing throughout the whole head of your hair. And I'm making sure, of course, to use the curl hold spray from Mark Hill. This is really good because it's very lightweight, but it keeps the curls in, which is so good. And yeah, I'm making sure not to touch the curls once they've been done and once they've been sprayed, because I'm going to brush through them later. But it's really important that you let them set before you brush through them, otherwise it's going to be harder for your curls to really stay for a long period of time. So once I'm done with each curl, I leave it, I spray every single curl in that section, and I move on. And once I'm finished with everything, that is when I will brush through the curls. So once I get to the top section, I'm going to have my hair parted in the middle, although I am not going to keep it that way when I style it. I just find this works really well for me, and the direction of the curls end up working really well for my face and the style that I'm going for. So I'm still doing the exact same thing, just curling away from my face, trying to get as close to the root as possible to get rid of that natural texture. And I'm spraying my hair completely with the curl hold spray and letting them completely set, and then I am going to brush through the curls. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing, just because you're kind of waiting for the entire time to brush them through and just to see the final form of the curls. I used to be really scared of doing this, but it works really well, and the curls stay in just fine because you let them set. So once I've brushed through everything, I'm going to actually flip my hair over to the side that I normally part it on the side, and I just find that it sits so nicely. And this is when I like to tuck one portion behind my ear, and honestly it just comes out so classic looking and just so pretty with a lot of volume, and I just love it. So that's why I curl my hair parted in the middle, but then I flip it over because I just think the volume looks so good. And then finally, for the styling portion, I'm going to be taking some of the Mark Hill Invisible Taming polish, and I'm going to be using this to slick down my baby hairs. So I stuck them down and just did it in a cute little style just to give it that little extra oomph to it. And I actually like to put some of this in between my fingers, rub it so that my hands get warm, and then I will use it to kind of like slick down any frizzy looking pieces. And that's pretty much the end of this look, guys. This is pretty much always the technique that I use if I want to curl my hair. I never blow dry my hair anymore if I'm going to curl it, and I never straighten it first, although that is what I used to do because I just didn't have the right equipment and the right knowledge to do it. So hopefully this helps some of you guys that have frizzier hair or curly hair textures, and this is what works really well for my 3A curls, my natural texture. It works really well for me, and I still keep a lot of that volume, and I look like me on the box now. This is the same kind of style that I had on the shoot day when I did the style on the box, and I just love it. It's just so classic and just so elegant looking, and I love it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe down below, and I will catch you guys very, very soon. Bye.